Welcome once again to the Expansion Zone. Of course, I'm your host, Sonia Barrett, and it's the Expansion Zone TV. Well, it really seems that the pandemic is definitely shifting. And as this shift happens, what do we need to do? Well, we have to shift as well. So basically, we need to shift to higher ground. So that's what I'm encouraging everybody to do, regardless of what's going on. You've got to begin to shift to higher ground for yourself. Now, I have a quote that is very appropriate for what I've just said. And the quote is this: if you don't design your life, if you don't design your life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what? They have planned for you. Not much. And that's a quote by Jim Rohn, but excellent quote. So let's see. Oh, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So while you're watching this, click the subscribe button below. Now, another little quick 2 cents from me. It's these are all reminders I like to throw out there, but the fact is that we do live in an ocean of possibilities, of potentials, and I think often we narrow those possibilities basically to align more with our fears. So we as human beings are a complete system that is very capable, I think, of so much more than we have been programmed to believe. And I say programmed because from birth on, or probably even before that, we sort of adopt and adapt certain behaviors and thinking and so on. So that's what I mean by that. So this is really a time to take back your power and perhaps also examine where you've given away your power. So this is really the perfect time to do that, because it's a lot of power that people are giving away right now to much of what's going on. So this is a perfect opportunity to make those kinds of changes and observation. And that's why today's guest is also perfect for what we're talking about right now. And so the topic today is going to be self-empowerment and connectedness through wisdom healing Qigong, which is a 5,000-year-old Chinese healing system. So my guest today is Master Mingtong Gu, who says Qigong is a science as well as an art for creating the very best circumstances for miracles to happen, including the total recovery of conditions such as Parkinson's, cancer, Lyme disease, chronic fatigue, and many, many other health challenges. And so his bio, I wanted to read a little bit more of his bio because I think it's so important to see his journey, even though he's going to talk about it. But I just wanted to read a bit of it. As a child growing up in China during the Cultural Revolution, Master Mingtong endured hunger, poverty, and a long separation from his birth family. Now, despite these incredible hardships, he became the first from his village to attend college, earning a bachelor's degree in mathematics, followed by 2 master's degrees, including an MFA from Ohio State University. As a graduate student in art, Master Mingtong discovered the treasures of his own culture through the spiritual iconography of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism, while practicing yoga, Tantric Buddhism, and Qigong. And in 1997, Master Mingtong returned to China from Qigong training under Grandmaster Dr. Pang Ming, a physician and Qigong Grandmaster trained in Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine, as the founder of the world's largest Qigong hospital. During his training, Master Mingtong observed thousands of cases of chronic and incurable diseases being healed at this medicine-less Qigong hospital, which treated 200,000 plus patients with more than 185 different illnesses with a 95% effective improvement rate. Master Mingtong would eventually become the founder of the Tai Chi Center just outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico, bringing wisdom healing to thousands. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome you, Master Mingtong, to the expansion zone.
Thank you, Sonia. Such pleasure to be with you and be with all the audience and listeners for this occasion of sharing Qigong with all of you.
Yes, and so many aspects that we could certainly get into, but I think what is great is that your focus, what you're bringing at this particular time, because there's so much fear, and also there are people that are probably recovering or probably have gotten the illness or whatever the case may be, and so you're bringing this. So would you probably start out by giving us some idea then as to the system? I mean, we're going to go into it further, but if you were to condense it to share that with someone.
Right. Yes, I want to give some context. So help us to understand, but also making a link and see how this can impact your health, your life in general. So first of all, in this powerful, profound challenge we're experiencing right now, personally, collectively, I think part of us feel like we do need a miracle right now. We're ready for a miracle.
A big miracle.
Right. So the definition of miracle for me is simply means making the impossible possible.
Yes.
So one of the words in Qigong is making it. So you're making miracle instead of just waiting for a miracle or expecting a miracle. And so we're going to get to science of that. As Sonia mentioned in my quotes, the science, the art, how to create a condition in which the impossible can happen, become possible. So when we say something impossible is based on our history, based on previous experience, based on diagnosis, based on conventional science, right now mostly based on Newton physics, based on whatever perception, what is physical. So Qigong is really about expanding your perception beyond physical, expanding your connection beyond isolation, beyond separation of the physical, expanding your perception beyond looking at this body just as a, as a physical machine, like computers, as if the mind is nothing to do with your health, your spirit as if it's something, separate from your body. And so it's really about the deeper connection that not only acknowledging mentally, but experience consciously and with a purpose, with a deeper purpose. So when we want to have a big plan for your life, the deeper question, what is a new plan? If it's the same as before, probably most likely you're going to end up in the same place.
Right.
Right. If you made a plan, from a fearful place, then probably the result won't be good neither. So it's really not just making a plan, but where it's come from, how you're making the plan. And what is the deeper intention for your life? What is the quality you want to cultivate in your life? The deep question is like, what is the most important thing for your life? Right. Whether it's health, whether it's relationship, whether it's love, whether it's the creativity, whether it's the contribution to life, whether just simply be comfortable with yourself, So, and all that question is very, very relevant right now. So in terms of, what is Qigong? It's very simple. I just give you a few analogies. One is Qigong is really parallel to yoga. Qigong come out of China, yoga is come out of India. That's it. It's as ancient as yoga and have different flavor. but they're really parallel. Yeah, you can think of Qigong is a Chinese version of yoga. Okay, and the deeper, overlapping is really working with human potential. It's like in yoga we call prana, and Qigong called Qi. Yeah, and it's also the cosmology is really same, and the language is different. So in the biggest cosmology shared, I think, in all tradition, whether Qigong, whether yoga, whether it's meditation nowadays, mindfulness meditation is very popular now, including all other spiritual practice, shamanism, Native American tradition, mysticism, in all religious tradition as well. It's really recognizing the oneness of life, recognizing interconnectedness of life, recognizing the most important thing is loving kindness, is compassion. And as a result, is really deeper healing, deep healing. So
there's flow,
with that
there's
said,
energetic flow.
exactly, yeah. Well, Qigong have a slightly unique quality, and I will come to that, but the paradigm is universal. Then the methodology in Qigong is really important. I think it's relatively unique, is recognizing not only we are expression of this creative energy of the universe, and even our mind, consciousness, or spirit, whatever your name you want to use, is part of this universal existence. We have an individual story, individual identification, individual journey, and even individual circumstance we're living, but the essence of who we are is part of this oneness. And the energy you carry inside of you is part of the universal creative energy. That energy you're born with as a baby. And that energy you experience as a child, playful, alive and creative and, healthy and so on. Yeah.
Imagination, all of that.
Imagination, right. So that energy is still within you, but then the life circumstance happens, mostly stress, accumulative stress, everyday life stress, traumatic stress as we're experiencing right now in pandemic. So including injury and so on. So what happened over the time, that energy contract. The energy start to suppressed. The energy start to be disconnected. The energy start going to the basement, I often say, but it's still there. And so now the practice of Qigong is really about, coming back to your body, reconnecting with the essence, connecting this power is buried now. So when the energy is contracted, then we're experiencing health issues, physical health, emotional issue, even mental, spiritual issues. So when the energy opening, flowing again, that's where the flow comes to. Yeah, when the energy opening, flowing naturally, then the function of the physical, emotional, even mental, spiritual, returning to the most optimal. So that's the methodology. Mm-hmm. It's so simple.
I know.
And yet, we don't think that way. We cannot. What is the quick, what is like something we can take? What is someone can help me? Always depends on something external. So the ancient wisdom is realizing you have more power. The most power is your own energy power. You have a power to change your energy system. Right. And you have a power to realize your full potential.
Right. I mean, yes, and everything you've said, certainly you see the process of fragmentation, which is how that's how most people live anyway, is in this fragmented manner. And systems like Qigong, or as you're talking about with energy and this universal force, immediately what you see is going back into this fluid state.
Exactly, yeah. So when we're working with energy, you start recognizing, I think these are three key qualities. One is the energy in the natural state, if we're living in the natural state, aligning with energy well, aligning with the earth, aligning what is healthy for life in general, then the energy is just naturally flowing. Yeah, one of the desire of the energy you want to flow. Even the stress suppressing the energy, but the desire, natural desire of energy you want to flow. Okay. Then second quality of energy is nourishing life. Energy is naturally nourishing life, just like the sun, is present for the earth. That power of energy just nurturing life, warming up life, nurturing life. Without the sun, nothing will grow on the planet Earth. Yeah. And then there's knowledge, just like water, naturally, when they're naturally flowing, naturally nourishing life. So the second is this nourishment. Yeah. The third quality is creative power. It's creative power. It means can create something new. Yeah, not just stuck in the old form of existence. The new can come forth, and that's another way of saying is transformation from old form to new form, from old experience to new experience, from all comfortable whatever the experience to a hidden potential awakening inside of us.
Yeah.
And so that's three quality we continuously cultivating consciously.
And then the thing with that is the change, the transformation that you're speaking about. Many people are afraid of change, and so so I wanted you to address that, because that's what a lot of people are afraid of right now is change. It's the unknown. They have no idea what's coming, what their life is going to look like. And with everything that you're speaking about and other shows that I've done, it is about being able to, as you say, come to this sort of centered space and be in the flow, and knowing that wherever you're guided next is going to be okay.
Exactly. That's just such an important piece. When you're working with energy, it's like a movement is inseparable with change, and transformation is inseparable with change. On the other hand, we're experiencing, great change with challenges, the unknownness, with even feel unsafe, that's why this fear, anxiety come forth. But also from the resistance to change.
Right.
And another level of anxiety, unnecessary suffering, so to speak. So in the wisdom tradition is when we're working with energy, particularly, you start recognizing, change is happening all the time. The physical maybe appears relatively stable, and our life appears relatively stable in general, but the subtle energy change happening is every moment. It's changing.
Right.
And so when you're able to embracing all these change happenings all the time in the subtle energy realm, then you start realizing, now I can embracing the change happening in my life, including the physical dimension, including the challenging change happening right now. So when you're connecting with the subtle energy, is like two things. Is inseparable. More you're able to embracing the change, then more you were able to embrace the challenges, then more you're able to embrace your vision.
Very, very, very significant, those points that you made, because if people put it all together, but what you're saying, then it starts to what should I say, decrease the level of fear and stress, because you're recognizing this flow. And even in the movements, which you can, if you could talk about that, because as you're speaking, I'm seeing, because I've taken Qigong before, but you're seeing the slow movements of the body from one form to the next, and it's all this incredible flow. And that's the same flow you're speaking about in life in general, right?
Absolutely, yeah. To be familiar with this flow, experientially be familiar with the flow. That's one reason we're learning in Qigong. So when you're moving, usually when you move slowly, in Tai Chi, in Qigong, very similar movement, is moving very slow, and you're repeating the movement over again. And so as a result, what happened is three benefits. First is the mind, you're training the mind to connect with your body. And that is different from exercises. When you do exercises, you do using a machine or even riding a bicycle, whatever you're doing, your mind's still watching something else, looking at something else, even watching TV. Nowadays, very popular, you do exercise with a machine, you still, earplug listening to whatever it is, the news, even reading, Kindle.
Sounds stressful.
So your mind is not really connected with your body. And that's his big difference.
Wow. I'm glad you pointed that out too, because it's a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So your mind is powerful. Yeah. But if your mind spending the time with your body, then you bring the power back with your body. Otherwise, you're still thinking of the body doing its own thing as a machine, you're doing exercises, and very different experience. So that is one differentiation. So when the mind is connecting with your body, when things start to happen is you are taking vacation from busy thinking, from mental stress. And that is one of the most powerful stress we're experiencing right now. The busyness, the mental stress, the story, the worry, all that, creating more fear, So that's the first benefit. You can imagine the implication of that. The mind taking vacation. Suddenly, I can my body, I can feel my body, I can discover the energy inside my body. So you're engaging in a very different experiential activity. Then the second is this movement is allow you to wake up the body, allow you to releasing the tension, the stress you carry, the body carry. So the worst thing is we are not aware of the body is carrying the stress. I can 100% for sure your body is carrying stress. My body is carrying stress. All the human bodies carry stress. But the worst thing is we're not aware of it. Then suddenly, one day we're diagnosed with certain problems, illnesses. Then we're shocked. Why me? As if something happened overnight. No, my dear, nothing happens overnight. What are you experiencing in all levels, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, is a result of accumulative conditioning. You said programming, and I use the words conditioning because program sometimes implies someone else program you. There's a programmer behind the program, but conditioning is just life in general. Happening is conditioning our energy, conditioning our life in, whatever you're experiencing. So this is happening all the time. It's not just happening right now, responding to the pandemic. So acknowledging your body carries stress, carries contraction. And then you can consciously work with that, So when you're moving, so you're releasing the tension, you're releasing the stress. Often we say the issues in your tissue until you release the stress from your physical body, you cannot release your mental stress neither. It's there energetically in your system. Right. So that's the second benefit of movement. Then the third benefit is often also is unaware for most people, is when you're doing this slow movement, not only you're mentally connecting with your body, but you start to discover the subtle energy. That's why we're moving slowly, very slow movement, gentle movement. So when you do, very fast movement, you may still feel good, but you're still just perceiving your body as physical, muscle strength. And here is you're developing energetic strength, energetic resilience inside of you. And that's also slow movement, but also you're discovering more connection of subtle energy flow as we're talking about, beyond just physical limitation. So allow the people have disease, have a physical, limitation, able to do this practice. So it's very different that way in terms of, from fitness.
Yes. Well, yeah, and with listening to you, you really get a chance to recognize, or anybody listening, to just recognize the automated behavior. Like as you mentioned with exercising, and then you're still listening to the news. I mean, but we're always on. It's just, especially now, your mind is always at work, and being reinforced all the time. So I think, folks really have to step back and see the agitation. And you're right, the stress. It's amazing. When I go and I get a massage from my favorite person, sometimes she goes,
Oh,
"What have you been doing?" She's like,
right.
"I've never seen you like this before. It's like all in here." And I'm going, "Ow, ow. Leave it
Right.
alone. Don't move it. Just leave it." She goes, "No, I have to move it."
Right, and it feels so good when that tightness release, like, oh my God, it feels so good.
Yeah, I know, but the process is a little, painful. It's a little challenging, but
Yeah,
it's all of that.
yeah, yeah.
But so what was the other thing? What I wanted to ask you also is, in terms of healing, in terms of the stress right now, in terms of people's fear of thinking that they may get it or not get it, that's more of a stress than anything else. Because a lot of people are uncertain. They're not sure what they understand. When I see people sometimes, walking with their mask, and maybe their response to shifting, worrying about walking very close to somebody, you can feel the fear, and I get it, and uncertainty in them. That's a lot, and that sets you up for the very thing that you are trying to avoid.
Absolutely. Yes. So, yeah, so true on that. It's like we know one of the main cause for immune system deficiency is stress. And the most intense stress is fear. Simply put, no question about it. You can validate in from all different angles: psychology, neuroscience, energy science, in all levels, and your own deep experience. You know that you experience it every day. So, but the key is, how you deal with this fear, deal with this. Emotional stress, and that is really important question. So from energetic point of view, Qigong point of view, is really simple. On one hand, is recognizing this is all pattern. So the fearful response is all pattern in human realm. It's programmed into our genetic. The original idea is good. It's not someone else program into ourselves, but it's like how life evolved. It's come out of protection from dangers. So the body has been conditioned, our program, to protect us, basically. If any kind of crisis, when the fear happens, the cortisol, the energy contract to muscle, to certain part of the body, so we can run. So we can escape from, the crisis, the dangers. But as a result, other function of the body is compromised. So to protect us, but the implication is when you carry the stressful or contract energy pattern longer than necessary, such as run away from danger, then you're experiencing unnecessary damage to your health, to your emotional well-being. So that is both is really important to understand. One is necessary for survival, another is unnecessary for your health. Yeah. So how we approaching this energy pattern of fear from human history, from life conditioning in general, is a powerful question. So In Qigong, we always taking a very direct approach, understanding the energy system. So it's like, in this case, the fear is associating with your kidney energy system. When I say the kidney energy system, that means beyond your kidneys, associating with the reproductive system, your sexual energy, your survival energy, your hormone system, your skeleton system. In Chinese culture, we call Ching Energy. And that is very same as Kundalini energy in yoga tradition. So that energy, on one hand, is survival energy. On the other hand, is powerful creative energy, regenerative energy. Is the base of life. So when the energy is contracted, freeze, we experience in fight, flight, the fearful response. And yet the same energy, when the same energy unfreeze, flowing again, then we experiencing creativity, empowerment, nourishment of life. So it's the same energy. So how, that's another, I think a good word to use is how we're programming that energy is determining the function, determining the outcome. So the question, we can do positive thinking to program this energy differently, but that's only go that far. The thinking can only go that far. Then another aspect is the emotional programming in our past. We had a trauma, we had whatever fearful pattern in your personal life. This is in your organ. It's in your subconscious level. You cannot just mentally reprogram them easily by positive thinking, by intention. Just not enough. So then it's another level. It's genetic in our system. It's intergenerational. And nowadays we know.
Many levels.
Yeah, the trauma can pass down for more than just one generation. Right now, there's enough scientific evidence pointing out at least 3 generations. From Native American tradition, we know at least 7 generations. So from energetic tradition, we know that's going to continue pass down until someone change that pattern in this chain of lineages. So that is a powerful insight. So what is really happening in Qigong is recognize this is continuous result. But on the other hand, starting with you can change, you can break the chain. So the practice in this case is most direct is the sound practice. I'm enjoying this conversation. And also I want to invite everybody to, really connecting with your body, connecting with your own energy, even when you're listening right now or watching right now. So it's really, on one hand, it's personal, but on the other hand, it's collective, intergenerational. And that's what we're speaking of. But we carry that energy. We all carry that energy imprints, energy conditioning inside of us. So the idea is you can reprogram your energy. No matter what happened in the past. So the 3, aspect is equally important. And the first important is connecting the energy inside of you. As I mentioned before, that energy power you're born with still inside of you. Could it be buried under the trauma? Could it be buried under the stress? Could it be buried under, whatever condition in the past? But it's still there. So first is acknowledging it, connecting with the energy. Yeah. And the second, that means you go beyond your story, go beyond your business of your mind. So you're connecting with your body. That's the first essential thing. And the second is really awakening energy, moving energy, opening energy. So in the last session, we talked about how the movement can help you to do that. So the second piece is the sound, the vibration of sound, activating even the deeper dimension of your body, including the deeper dimension of your organ, including the energy associating with your reproductive system, sexual energy, Ching energy, and that is associating with the fear. When whatever stress, crisis included happen in your life, then the energy contract. When that energy continue experiencing the fearful pattern. So we're speaking about change the fearful pattern. It's not about pushing the fear away right now. Yeah. But change the fearful pattern from the history. Even right now, that fearful pattern is activated in uncertainty of life, in all the worry, in all the stressful story and so on. But deal with that pattern so you can change the programming inside of you. So the process we're sharing is very simple. You're making the sound. So right now, let's do this together. The sound is like this. Yeah. So you may noticing this subtle feeling you're responding, both a little bit fearful, but also powerful.
Can you do that again? Can you do that again?
We're going to do it together, but
okay.
Explain for you. So, but what are you doing once you connecting with your body, doing the sound together? You are activating the power inside of you, including the power suppressed underneath your fear. So you allow yourself feel the fear actually in order to get into the power. Instead of resisting the fear, suppressing the fear, or running away from the fear. You go into the fear. Underneath that is the power. Underneath that is the energy of life awaiting for you. That's so important to understand. So it's a very different paradigm of dealing with the fear. So let's do this together.
Okay.
Connecting with your body, feeling your body. If you're comfortable, if it's safe, you can gently close your eye. Now making the sound with your best effort, playfully. Now noticing, noticing the sensation, feeling inside of your body. So when you're making such a simple, kind of shocking, unusual sound long enough, you start feel warmness inside of you, start feel even burning sensation, start feel like a power awakening. Yeah. And right now, you know,
through this
if you
entire
engage in the practice, no question about it, you start feel waking up. You're waking up.
I'm up.
Right. You're up, right. You're waking up.
Yeah.
So you're really awakening all this level, awakening the power of your body, awakening the energy, awakening your mind, awakening, become more awake right now. And so that is very much the foundation of awakening. Yeah. You cannot just use your mind thinking awakening. You have to awakening all levels. So the power is opening the door. I mean, the sound is opening the doorway of the deeper awakening. And so in that process, you're naturally transforming from the contracted pattern of that same energy you're experiencing as fear to creativity. Yeah, to a different level of awakening, opening. The energy starts flowing again inside of you. And that is only small taste of it, of course. You know, longer you do it, then more power you can awake. So then the second sound for the kidney system is more like softer. So I'd like to invite you to join me, join together with your own best effort twice. continue relaxing, noticing a deeper sense of aliveness, wakefulness, even movement, subtle movement of energy. So the methodology is very simple. The first sound is awakening the power inside of you, unfreezing the energy contracted by the fear. So then what happened is the next step here is that energy, once it is unfreeze, freeze up, you're moving the energy through the entire body with the yi sound. So it's just like the ice, when it's frozen, the life is frozen. When unfrozen, then become water, then this water can flow again, can nourish the life again. So the second piece is nourishment. So what are you transforming? Is you're transforming from fearfulness to carefulness. You care for life. You're nourishing life. So that is a deeper transformation. And so that's the second sound. And we probably don't have time to go to more practice, but the third sound is really awakening the spiritual dimension of this energy. When the energy moving up from the base of spine, you're opening the heart much deeper, much bigger, experiencing the deeper level of compassion, loving kindness. You're empowering your heart to open bigger. Then when the energy rising, it's really the same as Kundalini energy, arising to the brain, then you're opening your brain capacity. You're expanding to your consciousness capacity. So the spiritual awakening start to happen. So this is the science, the energy science behind this practice. This technique is not random, it's not just building muscle.
Yeah, it's clear. I mean, you feel it. And I think one of the things that I certainly noticed with myself was reservation, because you're so unfamiliar with making these sounds. There is you can feel the restriction, rather you feel yourself being restrictive. You don't know that you're restrictive until you start doing something that is outside of your norm. And then I start feeling that. I thought, wow, I really need to do this, because I'm restricting myself from really
open. And that is such a key awareness. That's the most beautiful, important awareness. And thank you for sharing that. It's like in order to get out of the small box, breaking your own box, you have to realize your discomfort of breaking this box.
Super.
And so more you're realizing that resistance, discomfort, even reservation of it, the more you're realizing the hidden potential is waiting for you.
Lots of potential. And you realize, well, if I'm feeling that way, then of course, then there's some stuck energy, in different parts of your body. And I thought it was interesting. But here's what we're going to do. Let's talk about the free downloads, the free that you're offering. So what are the downloads that that you're gifting my listeners with?
We're living in such a special, very unusual time, and a wonderful opportunity. We can explore, what is possible from this ancient tradition of healing art. And so in this case, we're sharing a lot of not just information, but also quite a few practice video help you to experience what we talk about today, what are we starting today, but also some practice help you to enhance the body in your immune system, and including also transforming the fearful pattern, open your heart to the greater capacity of loving kindness. So on one hand, help you to mentally understand what it is, but also guiding your practice and generating the experience and the benefit. So anytime you practice, you start to feel better for now. And when you continue practice consistently, then you're creating a long-lasting, sustainable benefit. And that's how everything works. So, and I think Sonia have the link.
Right. I will. The link will be posted on the expansionzone.com on the not just his profile page, but with where the audio and the video is being played. So you'll have access to the link there. I don't have it directly in front of me, but it will be made available. So please go to the expansionzone.com and click on this featured guest, and you will be able to get that free gift. You want to have it because I'm sure some of you are doing the technique just listening, and you feel the vibration in your body. And if we're going to be honest with ourselves, and we're going to also admit to our own self our own restrictions and what we need to do. And this is, what we're dealing with in this time is to thine own self be true at this time. So also, I'd like for you to also talk about the center and the courses that you're giving, the online courses that are available, the retreats that you normally have on location, but are now doing it online. So if you can at least provide our audience with that information as well.
Yes, thank you. In general, we have an abundance of programs. And the retreat usually, when it happens in person, from 1 month up to from 1 week up to 6 weeks. And people stay here as long as they can in this amazing, magical place of Santa Fe. And obviously, so now we're moving all the program to online. So we're still doing online retreat 7 days at a time. Then we have a month-long program. People can join, once a week or twice a week. Then we have ongoing program. People can study at home, their own schedule, accessing slow, not just the library, but ongoing materials available over the time. You can learn gradually as long as you want. Then also we have other community events, could be half day long, 1 day long as well, even daily practice joined together. So there's abundance of opportunity available, especially we're making a commitment now in this time to provide more opportunity, also greater dedication than any other times in history.
And what's the website, by the way? The website.
CHICenter.com. CHICenter.com.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, I'm very excited about it as well. When I received your information, I thought I've got to talk to you. My listeners definitely need this information. But I was really curious because you mentioned a third level of this process, and you said we weren't going to have time. So I'm just curious if you can just even condense it, whatever you can share with us about.
Yeah. So now we're making more time to complete this practice for the kidney energy system. Again, 3 sounds. So the first sound is awakening the physical dimension, the power of the energy. The second sound is allow the energy flowing more freely, deeply. So as a result, we're transforming from the fearful pattern to empower creative, nourishing pattern of life, of the same energy, basically. So the third sound is moving the energy upward from the base of spine to the chest level, opening the heart deeper, and to the brain level, opening the brain function as well, awakening to your mind, to your pure consciousness, the spiritual dimension of yourself. So the sound, again, is simple. It's like this. So I'll make the sound first, you listening, then you can join me afterwards together. So from the yin to sound, and you're making the sound as deeply as you can. And so again, internally connecting your body. So not just trying to make it sound how beautiful, how perfect it is. Most importantly is connecting with your body, feeling your body. So if you're
Is it yin?
comfortable,
What are we saying? What is it? I'm sorry, I missed.
yin,
Yin.
Y
Okay.
and G,
Yin.
yin,
Okay.
mm,
Yin.
mm,
Mm,
and
mm.
yeah. So again, if you're comfortable, if it's safe, gently close your eye. Breathe in deeply, making the sound with your best effort. In. Breathe in deeply. In. One more time. Breathe in deeply. In. And simply relaxing, noticing, embracing all the sensation, feeling inside of you, both comfortable and uncomfortable, both intense and subtle, both familiar and unknown. You can move your body freely now. Whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes.
I almost forgot I was doing the show.
That means you're doing really good.
I got so into it and so comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, it's this feeling of just sort of settling into this space, and it just sort of envelops you, and that's how it felt. Like it just settled into this space, and I could have just sat in that space for a while.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. And now when you do that sound, I cut it off, but were you taking that sound all the way to the end, all the way?
Yes. You know, the suggestion for anyone doing this practice is really just making your own best effort, according your own capacity. Then over the time, you're realizing, oh, I can do more now. Oh, I can make the sound longer now. Oh, I can make the sound deeper now. Oh, I can feel the body stronger now. So it's a process.
Right.
It's a process. Yeah. So if you cannot do the sound from beginning to the end yet, that's okay. You can start in, do a shorter version on your own, then gradually enhancing longer. Yeah. That's the process of learning.
And the beauty about utilizing these tools is what you notice is that you really completely forget about anything that's related to the 3D and your life. It just completely disappears, and that's you're involved in that focus. That is something that I've always noticed. It just you're pulled into that, which is what is so necessary for the balance that we're seeking anyway.
Yeah. Often I say you're taking a vacation from your busy
Yes.
or your stressful circumstances, and by making a deeper connection, you experience yourself in a new way. A new connections start to happen.
All right. Now I'm going to deviate just a little bit, but with your history, I wonder, just out of curiosity, what that was like for you, because people go through difficult times. Some people are born into extremely difficult times. Some people manage to transcend, and some people just live their whole life in that mindset. For you, what was that like? Was there a sense of determination, or was it just sort of this natural flow of wanting to to progress and to move forward?
Mm. I would say it's not easy flow.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, that's a lot.
Not the easy flow. But one thing is I think reflecting back my life, one quality as continuously important influenced me even from childhood. It's like I'm very determined person. So when I choose to do something, I do it 100%. Not like wishy-washy, what about this, what about that,
You're committed.
yeah, committed, not worry about what other people think, and so that is something it's important in my life, including when I switched from mathematics to fine arts. I was so determined, won't happen. Then when I discovered Qigong is better for my life than fine art, then I so determined, boom, switch to Qigong. Then when I do Qigong now, not only am in the beginning I was doing it for myself, then now I'm teaching it. It's like so determined. That's my vision. That's my life journey. And that is the most important thing I'm doing now. So that is kind of really carrying me in all these different chapters of my life, also including moving slow challenges. Even now, just life is always challenging. Especially in the pandemic right now, I still have to run the whole organization. I still have to pay all the staff, feeding family. And so it's not an easy thing. Say, okay, just be spiritual, teaching people, and the rest just will take care of itself. Good luck if you're doing that. So
that's the reality of it, though. I mean, and I think that's good that you're sharing that, because I think people need to realize that, the life is filled with challenges, but how do we approach it? How do we keep moving through it? And that's the reason why I asked you.
Exactly. So it's, on one hand, I'm determined, I'm holding the vision, with such a dedication. But on the other hand, I'm also really, working with the responsibility, working with the challenges. And, but luckily, the teaching itself, the practice itself continuously, energize me, also bring me the tool to work through these challenges as well, responsibility. So I feel in all level, feel like the dots coming together, different piece of the puzzle of life coming together. So in a deep level, I feel so good, so good, so good, more than hopeful.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That commitment and determination I'm familiar with. And I think it's it is. I'm extremely familiar with it. But it really is necessary, because it's what drives you through the difficult times when somebody would say, somebody's looking on and thinking, I don't know how you're going to pull that one off. But you do. And I really do feel that the more aligned we are, which is what you're talking about, the more aligned we are, I think it's the more we begin to trust every next move, because I don't think anything is random. So every next move, in my trust anyway, is, no matter what it looks like, it's taking me. I'm trusting that part of myself, that every move I make, no matter what it looks like, it's going to land me in a solid place. And that's, I think, the big takeaway that I think from all of this, and being able to use these amazing tools that are natural to us. You're talking about nature, is what you're talking about, our natural flow and way of being, if we allow it. So very great. Anything else that you want to add? I mean, we then we can bring it to a close.
Yeah, we're covering so much, but boil down to, I think, really up to us individually making deeper choice, more wise choice, more loving, kind choice, and also learn to be compassionate with yourself. And the final message I may say is really we are in this awake call of humanity. We're in this opportunity now, almost like giving this opportunity now to learn how to take care of ourselves more effectively, more lovingly, more compassionately, more wisely,
Right.
and also learn how to take care of each other more lovingly, more compassionately, more wisely. And then we can truly take care of, the big picture of life, including how to live with Earth, more natural alignment. So instead of food destruction, instead of conflict, instead of disconnection. So we are in a very powerful, critical time as well, most healing, awakening time. So remember, you are the cause of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I am the cause of my healing, we are the cause of our own healing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I do thank you so much for all that you shared. This has been a truly, truly fantastic moment. And what else do I want to say? I think we've covered it all. And I just want to thank you, Master Mingtong, for being here and for all that you have shared. And I look forward to doing more. I really would like to be part of um, some of these practices that you're offering. So,
Wonderful. It's a delight. Yeah. Thank you for being who you are and doing what you're doing. The world needed. Thank
no,
you. Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you, all the audience, all the listener watching this, connecting the energy we're generating on the planet Earth. We can make a difference together. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. And we'll end it with a quote from you. There is a beautiful garden within for you to cultivate now, especially during this challenging time. And this is a quote from Master Mingtong Gu. So thank you for that, because it is so true. To everyone else, please subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. So look down and click subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and share this video, please. It's really important. The reason why I keep saying to subscribe is really because the guests that I'm bringing on are people that are really bringing information that is so necessary, not just now, but period, in this human life game. And so I ask you to share these videos, and share this one most definitely. And I think that's it. Visit theexpansionzone.com for the archive, the radio, and for TV, the video archive as well. And tune in on Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific time on KPFK 90.7 FM at 1 o'clock to listen to the radio show, the radio version. And as always, of course, I like to remind you to live life to its fullest and question everything. Until next time, see you then.